you know that you have a medical device in Europe. Medical devices are regulated by the medical device regulation that came into place in 2017, so it's quite new. So the main goal of this regulation is to make medical devices safe and effective. For that, you need to take into account four main requirements. One is that the classification of the medical device, the general safety and performance requirements, the technical documentation, and the notified body. So the first one, the classification, is key. You need to properly classify your medical device. Medical device regulation distinguishes 4. 1, 2A, 2B, and 3. The higher the number, the higher the risk, and the higher the scrutiny, the requirements that you need to comply. So, for example, Band-Aids are class 1. Complex medical devices like Nabiheals that combines active substance with some medical devices that provide the physical barrier are probably class 3. Risks are defined by the type and nature of contact of the medical device with the body. So you need to take into account the duration. It's not the same to have 1 hour, one medical device, or 1 month. You need to take into account the level of exposure. It's not the same to have something in the skin that having inside. It's not the same having an implanted device, or in the case of Nabiheal, having something in an open wound that can release active substance into the wound. So that's important. So knowing what class will your medical device be classified is a key aspect. So the second one is the general safety and performance requirements, which is the core. Is the evidence you need to provide to demonstrate that it's safe, it doesn't harm the body, and it's effective. In our case, that is promotes wound healing. So the third one, although that evidence, you need to compile in a technical documentation, which is all this experiment that you perform, but also the risk assessment, all the manufacturing information, everything that you will present to the fourth point that I mentioned before, which is the notified body. So these are private companies that review all your documentation and decide if they comply with the medical regulation. If they do, they issue a conformity assessment, what we know here in Europe, the CE mark, that allows you to place the medical device in the market. I recommend to involve regulatory experts from day zero. So in the moment that you conceive the product, you need to bring regulatory experts and quality experts on board. Because as I mentioned before, knowing what class your medical device will be will allow you to know the time and budget, because the higher the risk, the more expensive and the more tests you need to perform. Knowing that it's going to be a class 3 medical device will tell you which non-clinical and clinical studies you need to perform, and also, and this is important, what type of quality management system you need to be in place for that medical device. So one is the rigor of medical device regulation, so compared with the old medical device directive. So they require more non-clinical and clinical data to put that medical device in the market. And the second obstacle we see is that sometimes, and especially with complex medical devices like Nabiheals, classification is difficult. There is some ambiguity in the regulation and also in the guidelines. So, for example, this medical device that combine the physical properties of a medical device, like the barrier, like a bandage, with some other components that are antimicrobial or release substances that promote regeneration. Those may not be medical devices, may be a combination product. So that's something that combines medical device with a medicinal product. And then you have two regulations that you need to comply with: the medical device regulation and also the pharmaceutical regulation. So how you can mitigate that? Bring experts from the very beginning, regulatory experts and quality experts, and invest in a quality management system, because at the end is the key for the success of the project. In Nabiheal, at the beginning, we work with the rest of the members of the consortium to define a document that is called Target Product Profile, which is a hypothetical summary of how you want the product to be. Once you finish the product, how you perceive your product in the market. So you need to define the indication, the target population, the duration of use, all of the things that you think your product should be in the market. And that helps you to identify which experiments and which characteristics your product need to meet at the end. So at the same time, we also issue two documents, which are regulatory roadmaps of what we consider the most likely products that will come out from Nabiheal. One, probably a class 3 medical device that combines that it has a medicinal product with an ancillary action, and the other one, as I mentioned before, a combination product that combines a medical device and a pharmaceutical compound. This is the formation and regulatory knowledge of the consortium with a regulatory workshop, where we brought experts from the medical device and medicinal product, and also from the nanomaterial field. And the last thing we will do, because now we are in the process of doing that, is to engage with regulatory authorities. We will seek the opinion of a notified body on our proposed classification for the medical device, and for the other one, what we believe it will be the combination product, we will seek the input from the regulatory authority on the non-clinical and CMC, or the manufacturing part of the product. Nothing that I haven't said before is bring regulatory experts and quality experts as soon as possible into the project. It's a common mistake to create a wonderful product and then try to fit in the puzzle of the regulatory, because normally regulatory and quality are perceived as roadblocks, but they are not. They will help you in the development, so bring them in as soon as possible, because at the end you need to have a product that is safe, effective, but also compliant. If it's not compliant, it will not reach the market. So, and that is where we think that regulatory can help.